Hi, I'm Sir Babygirl, and you're listening to WRSU FM New Brunswick, baby.
Woo! So officially, we are here with Sir Babygirl.
That's in some cultures correct.
I want to talk about the persona of Sir Babygirl and how she came about. Do you want to tell me a bit about that?
No, and I'm leaving the room. I said nobody asked me about Sir Babygirl. I'm not talking about him anymore. Yes. So Sir Babygirl, what do you want to know? Give me something specific.
Like, where were you when you were like, yes, Sir Babygirl?
Oh my God, I was on a date with a girl that I'd been seeing, and we were trying to come up with like really absurd like queer girl band names, and I was just like, all of a sudden my mind was like, Sir Babygirl, and she was like, ew, that's so extra. And then that's when I knew. I was like, it's just extra enough. And then I like literally kept it. That was like 2015, and I kept it. Like I forgot about it, and then like months later, all of a sudden it was like Sir Babygirl, and I was like, like I'd been asleep for like 4 months and was like, and then I decided to change my. I forgot I was being filmed. I'm a voice artist. Don't look at me. And I you can look at me. And so I like made it as my Instagram handle, but I still didn't do anything with it. It's been this long thing of like, it's been so slow. Like 2015, thought of it, and then like changed my handle to it, but was still just like shit posting. Am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck, cock, cunt. And then I like started making memes, and then I was like, ooh, maybe I could get people to follow me for my memes and then cross-market them to when I finally have music. And I had been writing music for forever and had been in a band in Boston, and just like that fizzled out. And I had like heard my first Sir Babygirl song in my dorm room senior year of college. I like heard a full beat, and I was like, wait, how do I put a flash drive in my head and like download that to my computer? And like I didn't have like the resources to like have like, you know, a home studio or like do all that stuff. And so I just started making like acapella, like pitch perfect like beats, because I like, what's a theater girl to do? And so I started just making beats with my mouth in GarageBand, and they were just like so shitty, but like just to get the ideas out. And then basically like over the span of the last, so from 2015 to now, so math, that's a 3 or 4 year. I basically just like very slowly crawled my way in the mud towards being able to produce, and then moved, did a stint as was a stand-up comedian for a moment in Chicago, and then wrote Heels, and then worked with a creepy producer and was like, I'm really sick of working with creepy male producers. I don't feel safe making music. And I don't know why I just looked at the camera. I don't feel safe making music. It's like, who is he trying to like tell something to right now? Yeah, zoom in, bitch. Dun dun dun. Yeah, like fuck this. I don't feel safe making music, and like music is literally what I do to feel good and safe, because the rest of the world makes me feel fucking unsafe and terrible.
Right.
And so it was just such an oxymoron, right? It's so insane that we work in like these intimate like bedroom studios, or even a studio like kind of like this, where it's just like there's no HR, there's any fuck shit can happen, and it does. And it's just like to even be taken seriously as a producer that's a non-man, like people ask me who produced the fucking album. Like people ask me if I wrote it. People ask me if I, you know, whatever. And that's no shade to people that collaborate and do that. Like I co-produce, like I love working with people, but it's just like people still can't, like we cannot get it in our heads that like, you know, women, non-binary people, produce and are like responsible for like the landscape of their sound, right. You know, like not just the diary, but the landscape, right. You know? And so, yeah, so I moved home. I lived with my mom and my dog, who's now dead. Rest in power, Baby Diva. And I've decided the camera's Baby Diva. And And so then I like built a little tiny studio in my apartment. My apartment is that what I'm calling my childhood bedroom in my parents' house? Yeah, in my little studio apartment in my parents' house in New Hampshire. So I did that, and I substitute taught in my old high school district, and I worked at a restaurant, and I found a really sick non-cis dude engineer named Lee Shuna, aka Kid Quiet, and I would like do my demos, and I would do like I would like record a lot of like the instrumentals and stuff, and then I would go to Boston and we would do like 16-hour benders, and like Haunted House was the first time we ever met. We did Haunted House. I brought him like the demo of it, and like we had never met before, and I was just like, hey, want to try this? And then we did like half of Haunted House. So yeah, and then I did that, and then well, I could go on forever, but I'll just end there. So yeah, that's kind of the beginning and midway point of Sir Babygirl.
Sure. I feel like Haunted House just brings people together.
Yeah.
She really does.
She really does. She has the power. Her power.
So how did you find people that you were comfortable like collaborating with? Like, what was that process like?
I'm like Nestle product placement. I literally, well, I decided that I was going to make the album alone because I didn't believe that I could find anyone.
Right.
Like I was at a point where I was just like, I'm so freaked out. Every dude I've worked with has either tried to harass, coerce, or just like undermine my process. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm just going to be a hermit and do it alone. And then it got to the point where I was like, like I am teaching myself how to produce. That's one thing, but then teaching myself how to engineer, that's another thing. Right. And like in my head, I can hear such a pristine version of what I want it to be. And I knew that like if I tried to engineer that alone, I would be in my parents' house for like 5 years, like getting it to be what I really wanted it to be. And so I was like, all right, we should let someone who's a fucking professional do this so that I can get what I want out of this. So then I just literally put on like Facebook back when people were sort of checking Facebook still, and was like, hey, I just want like a non-cis male producer. Someone randomly in Boston was like, I know someone. And then we met up. So it was like super, social media shit, basically.
Right. At any point were you like, fuck this, like I don't want to make music anymore?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's when I moved to Chicago, I just like totally lost my soul, mind, body, spirit. And Chicago, I did stand up because I was just like, I got vocal damage, like going to theater school. Thank you, theater school, for taking my money and my talents. And so I got vocal nodes. I got vocal nodes.
No.
Yeah, I got them I did a one-man show. I did two I did 2 one-man shows back to back, and was starting to play in the Boston music scene, doing like really intense like yelling music, like very like punk garage shit. And I got nodes, and then but it wasn't like enough to get surgery, and so I kept playing in the music scene.
So what do you do?
You just have to do vocal therapy, which is a really wild thing, because to be able to even like do that, you have to have such an awareness of your voice. And like luckily I've been vocally trained since like age 14, so like but it's just very like you have to do like literally like exercises like that like every day, and like take a straw and like into water. It's crazy. It's like all this crazy shit, and they're like, and you'll be healed. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I was super depressed from that, and I was like, well, because my voice was so titanium, like I was just known in school as having just this like insane titanium voice, and it just was like the one point in my life that I just never doubted.
Right.
And so when that broke, I was like, I am broken. And so I had my nice quarter-life crisis, and I hope that was that. I hope I don't have enough. Well, I'll probably have like 5 more coming. But so I had that nice quarter-life crisis, and then I moved to Chicago, and I started doing stand-up, and that was fun because I just got to like lose my mind and truly just bask in losing my mind.
Did you find like the same issues though in the stand-up community?
Oh, for sure. And that's kind of what it came to, was that I realized, I was like, all right, what industry is worth the abuse?
Right.
If you're any kind of marginalized person, it's just like, okay, what thing am I so passionate about that it's worth taking the daily microaggressions and like the horrific like long-term systemic shit, and also just like anything that could happen at any moment. So, and I really like realized, I was like, yeah, it's really not worth it to sit around at an open mic and like listen to like white dudes tell rape jokes. So I think I'll do music. And it was the kind of thing too where like I stopped doing music for the first time in my life. Like I started playing music in 3rd grade when I started with the saxophone, and I had like never stopped playing music all of my life. And it was the first time I like actually like forcefully stopped, and it was really interesting to see how it would kind of creep back, and I would like hear a beat in my head, and then like I'd have just like a bender for like a day or two where I'd like get out a song, and then I would just be like, okay, bye, you know, and would just like leave it. So it came and found me, you know. It's that shit. It's just like, hi bitch, it's me, your dreams.
And now you're in New York, right?
Yes.
And do you like the scene there? Do you feel safe?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I'm really part of the scene, because I kind of like came in. I came in last year. I moved last year when my first single Heels dropped through Father Daughter. And I more so was like came up in the Boston music scene, and I was like I was like in that scene, but New York, like I don't really, I kind of was able to like skip past a few steps, which was like very nice. So like I know people but I don't know enough. I feel very isolated because I also like go off on tour and stuff, so it's like I still like call myself a New York idiot. Like I don't really know where shit is. Like, so I don't know. I know like random people, but yeah, I don't know.
And what's it like being signed to Father Daughter?
Oh, it's cool. They're sick. They're like, they're just like actually like practicing what they preach. You know, they're not virtue signaling to virtue signal. They're like actually, you know, it's run by a non-binary person, and A&R Tyler Onderi is, you know, non-binary person of color, which is, there are like barely any black A&Rs in the music industry, and Tyler is just like fucking incredible, and is like really like, Tyler is one of those like secret people that like you might not know, you're not gonna know about them like outside of the industry, but like in the indie world, like Tyler just has done so many cool things and like connected, so like just such a great connector, and was the first person who found my music, and like loved it, and like yeah, it was cool. So yeah, they're really dope, and I'm doing the just put out the vinyl of deluxe version of Crush on Me, my debut album, and that's gonna come out in November. So yeah.
And your music videos, I want to talk a bit about, because I hadn't heard of you until my sister was like, you gotta fucking check this out, and it was a haunted house music video.
Okay, sister.
And I was like, kind of weird, kind of cool. And then you came into playlist here like literally the next weekend, and I was like, this is a sign. So I want to talk about your haunted house video first.
Sure.
Like how did that idea come up?
I was working with the director Eli Raskin, who's fucking amazing, and we went to school together, and we wanted to make a video together. We decided, let's go for haunted house, and we had like a bunch of different ideas floating for a long time, and then like a week before I went out to LA to shoot it with him, I was just like, no, we have to scrap the whole thing, it's not right. And then I was just like, I'm a very like outside in artist, so like I love, like when I was in theater school, like I loved getting the costume, getting the makeup, like that to me informs the inside, and so I'm very like visual and object oriented, where I kind of just will think of like an abstract object and then flesh out the world around it. So for haunted house, I was like, I want to be inside my diary. I don't know how, but I want to be inside my diary. And so that's how that kind of, we fleshed that out, and we took oh my God, Eli found someone on Craigslist in LA selling 500 erotic novels, all signed.
All signed by who?
All signed by the
author?
The author.
Was it just one author, or were they different?
No, different. So many. Wow. It was amazing. And so we individually fucking took those off and taped them to the wall to make like the diary landscape. Yeah, it was intense. That is intense. Yeah, I am my own PA for now.
How do you find like backup dancers for that?
For the videos or for live shows?
For both.
For both?
Yeah.
For like haunted house, like those people are professional dancers.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're insane. We just like Eli, we source them, like they're incredible. So we just source them through like Instagram. I mean, Instagram is it's like a big casting tool now.
Yeah.
And then I like to have like kind of non-traditional dancers, like people that aren't actually really trained, or like maybe took a class or two. So for my live shows, like because I just like people to feel like, it's so easy to feel self-conscious at shows.
Yeah.
And even if the person on stage is like letting loose, and so I just like wanted to kind of have this invitation to be like, literally these people aren't, and like it's an equal ground. Like they're not professionals either.
Right.
And just like let people like feel like they have permission to just like look ridiculous and lose their shit however they want to.
I want to talk about the strap-on that you sadly did not have tonight.
I know, sorry.
What part of like your stage presence does that play a part in? Or your just like general presence and identity?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm bisexual and non-binary. And for me, bisexual is a really fluid term. I think it can get taken out of context a lot, which is unfortunate. I think it's an amazing term that's been around for a long time, and so I don't see any reason to not, use it. Bisexual means you're attracted to yourself or other genders or one or more genders. It's not binaried. And so when people are like, how can you be bisexual and non-binary? I'm like, because so yeah, and for me, I'm very much into extremes. So like, I don't feel like agender or gender neutral. I feel very much like a boy and a girl put into the same human, which is why it's Sir Babygirl, and my pronouns are she, him. I just love exploring extremes and seeing how they're, everything opposite is also the same type shit.
Right.
The strap-on. So yeah, being a bisexual king, I enjoy partaking in the strap myself, and I just think like I just wanted to kind of take a piece of like queer signaling, queer iconography, and mix it with like pop star iconography, where it's like, Britney with like the snake and like stuff like that, or like Katy Perry with like the whirling tits, like the whipped cream tits.
You can't say that to me right now. I just watched the Glee episode where the Cheerios do Firework.
Oh
by
my
Katy
God.
Perry, and
Do they have the little ding dongs?
They do.
That's so funny.
Just immediate imagery.
Wow, that's powerful. Oof. Yeah, Glee. But yeah, so I wanted to do something like that, where I just feel like I think pop stars have such a great sense of humor with their sexuality, and I don't think that women pop stars are like applauded for that enough. Like it's fun. Like I just feel like especially like older Katy Perry, like when she was on the scene, like she was doing such funny shit, like with like sexuality and making it like goofy and kitschy and stuff. And so and like Kesha and like all that shit. And so I wanted to do something with that. And so I wanted to wear the strap, no dildo, because it's really hard to play with a hard dick. It's really hard. And I don't know. Okay, this is a thing actually. So I'm like, I've been like wondering, how do people with penises play guitar when they're erect? And then someone brought to my attention, they were like, well, have you ever thought about how like Paul McCartney and Elvis Costello played up here, and then like Billy Joe Armstrong and like pop punk dudes play it down there?
No.
This is huge. This is gonna break. This is huge
break
news.
records.
This is huge news.
Oh,
maybe
God.
maybe this will get me a budget. This my TED talk on dick and guitar placement relationship, spatial relationship. But yeah. So anyways, that's just something to think about on your own and in groups. Yeah. So the strap, no dick, no dildo. And yeah, I just think it's amazing. Like I just think like we need more like, femme tops represented. I think we're like, I like think of Sir Babygirl as a femme top and a butch bottom,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's
The duality of man.
Exactly, the duality of man. So yeah, I love the strap, and I have a really cute millennial pink one. So I just feel like people don't talk about the strap like at all. Like, because I just think also it's just like queer women who are like majority who use the strap, but also anyone can use the strap, which is also my point, is that anyone can give and receive the strap. So it's like so gender inclusive.
Right.
And you can have 2 dicks. It's sick. You can have 1. You can, whatever. And but I just feel like queer women are still not shown that much love, like by just the LGBTQ community, and also just the mainstream. Like we still just like see just like white cis gay men, and we're like, okay, yeah, that's gay. And it's just like lesbians and bi girls are just like kind of like not really listened to, even though they've contributed so much to culture. And so I just like wanted to represent that and like celebrate that.
Do people like follow you on social media or like listen to your music, and then they see like your not brand, but like your identity and like how
You can call it a brand.
I feel like they're kind of one and the same now,
Mm-hmm.
and they like see that and they're like, nah, fuck that.
Oh, has anyone ever like told me like fuck you?
Well, not like fuck you, but like, has anyone ever in turn like not fucked with you?
Oh, if they have, I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes if something will get posted on like a big site, like I'll get like a few like angry middle-aged men that are like, this is fucking garbage, and I'm like, eh. But I will say it's very like weird. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely still like in a niche corner of the internet where like I get more harassed by women than I do by men online. Yeah, which is like actually a thing that fucking sucks.
Right.
And it makes me really sad. And men don't really even, they just don't really bother me.
Nice.
Like it's really cool, but then the double-edged sword of it is that I get like harassed by women a lot, and it's very weird because I'm like, I know that you've probably been harassed, so like why are you doing this? But I think that's a thing in the queer community that we like have not really wanted to get into, is that anyone can, be fucking creepy, and like no one is like, everyone should be held accountable for that, and like we should all be making sure that we're being good and consensual. So that makes me sad. So stop. Everybody.
Do you feel like if a figure like you was present like 10 years ago, like you're breaking into the music industry, you're making your own stuff, like you're in your hometown in New Hampshire, if you had seen a Sir Babygirl, how do you think that would have like changed your path?
Oh man, I don't know, because I didn't know I was queer when I was in high school. I had no fucking idea. I just wasn't dating anyone. I had no idea. So I don't know. But I definitely do want there to be, I have like a good amount of high school fans, and it makes me really happy. And I had this high school girl on a Monday night, on a school night. Her mom drove her. I played a show opening for Pedal in January, and it was like snowy as fuck, and this girl's mom drove her like 2 hours to see me play. And like that shit is just like, oh. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that shit's cool. That shit's really cool and special. So like I don't know how I would have reacted to myself in high school. I might have fucking hated it. I probably would have hated it because I was just like internalized misogyny, like fuck girls. So I probably would have hated this bitch. But yeah.
Do you feel like proud of the fact that you're kind of like an icon for like bi girls and non-binary people that are coming into like the really important years of like figuring out who you are.
The formative shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, I try to be really careful about what I say and what I don't say in regards to that stuff, because I really don't want to tell anybody what to do or how to do it.
Right.
Like, I'm really just trying to, like, say what I'm doing and, like, you know, stay in my lane. I'm not trying to abuse that, you know, that kind of power structure.
Right.